Welcome, everybody, to the Final Assault VR Master League Season 2, Week 4. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster, SnooperFax. How are you today, Snooper?
Oh, I'm doing great. Got a good lunch in me, and I'm ready for another match.
Yeah, we had a good series so far. Naukao versus forgetting the names already. Manello, thank you. Yeah, Naukao versus Manello. It was an awesome matchup. Naukao really proving his worth with that micro. And we are now going to be seeing another high-tier matchup. SadlyItsBradley versus NotSporks. Right now we have Sadly readied up as a Simmons division and NotSporks as Galland. And we're going to be kicking it off on Copal Mine. Again, the maps are Copal Mine, Hill 512, and what's that last one? Wallenberg, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it's that one. Definitely an interesting matchup with Simmons versus Galland. Galland's definitely a higher tier division than Simmons, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if you're skilled, I mean, you know, like Naukao has demonstrated, if you're skilled with the division, you have strategies planned out, you can make them effective and you can do some work. I've seen Brad do work with the troops and the bombers, so I do anticipate to see a lot of interesting troop utilization as we dive into map number 1 of the series. On your right is NotSporks, on your left, SadlyItsBradley. Looks like he's still putting on that headset over in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
But that's fine. The first few minutes are usually just getting your cash flow set up. And
Well, it looks like he's starting off with a good tank push over to the north box. Oh, another tank to that little niche in the center. I'm not sure if he can shoot over the rocks to that tank, but we'll see what he can do with it.
I wonder what he is doing. I think my scale is broken for what I'm seeing, because I see him as small, floating up very high in the sky.
Oh, it looks fine for me.
Okay.
I mean, they're both the same size.
Okay,
but,
interesting.
I mean, I've definitely seen it do some odd things.
Okay.
Scale-wise.
Yeah, so if you are watching, I think it looks like Brad's playing off in some other map, like on the corner of the map. Oh, there he is.
Okay.
I think we're fixed.
Wonder if that was a ping issue?
I don't know. I think he's fine now.
And the battle begins. Got an arty going up to support that tank in the center.
Yeah, the lanes in this are a little wonky, right? You have that middle lane that doesn't get utilized until the troops rotate all the way around and cross through it. So you get some weird lane pushing going on if they don't fight in the center, and you can see already a little damage on a NotSporks tower in the middle.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, it's insignificant damage, obviously, but an interesting push that I'd be a little confused about if I were the one playing. Got some planes, pretty standard, but that north clutch.
Yeah, I think this will be a pretty slow burn. Both squads getting their tier 3s first. Brad actually letting his cash go up to 300 here, and he is not going to grab that cash drop. That's going to go into the hands. Oh, it doesn't. Wow, that artillery blew up the ATV just in time, and sadly SadlyItsBradley is going to get the first cash drop.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small amount of money on that first cash drop, so nothing to be worried about, but you definitely want to try and get your cash drops and lock up those positions. And right now you can kind of see one player's got most of the cash drops in hand, especially the positions.
Sadly, with that early cash drop, is now able to send in a very early bombing run here, and I think what he's going to do is he's going to send this and strafe the anti-air of the base. He actually misses the base anti-air, but he does grab out the troop trucks that were there. The second strafing run is successful. And so now all he needs to do is send another bomber out to the other corner, or send, I mean, yeah, he's got to whittle down this anti-air, but I do anticipate him using more of those bombers to harass the base of Sporks.
Well, Sporks has a tank destroyer going along that south line, and he's actually getting really close to SadlyItsBradley's base.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's
And
gonna
I don't see Bradley bombing it either. Does he even see it happening?
No, I think Brad's pretty focused on his own push here. He's going to be targeting these troop trucks that have been deployed. And I think he's actually going to try and do a bombing strafe front here and actually hit some base damage. There's not enough bombs deployed.
One thing I will note about the beta build is that bomber damage is insane against your base. But that's not the build we're doing right now, so no reason to talk about it. Second tank destroyer coming out from Sporks.
Man, this bomber, though, doing some work, really causing a lot of attention drawn for Sporks there. He focused on microing those units out of danger. But all the while, Brad was getting pushed on there, so really the right moves from Sporks to focus his attention on keeping his troop trucks alive because they are pressing all the towers.
Oh yeah, and that tank destroyer is definitely going to take out that artillery and back up and probably take a tank with it, if not two.
Yeah, this is really nice micro from this tank, from NotSporks on the tank destroyer here.
I mean, that's the danger of tunnel vision. I think if he used the bomber to strafe that tank destroyer, this would be a much different push. But he really wanted the infantry truck. We do have some tanks coming through the middle from Sports. And he's got a tank destroyer over in that north lane, or above the north lane, hitting another tower.
Man, Bradley is feeling the pressure right now.
Oh yeah. And those two anti-air in the middle basically cuts him off from using bombers, because those will destroy a bomber. Oh, and here comes a bomber now. Ooh, tank kills. Now, that tank destroyer definitely made a bit of a mistake by getting so close to the base. And are we experiencing a bit of lag?
Yeah. Hopefully that's just on our side, not on the players.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a touch of spectator lag for us, a little dash of it. I think we're back in to the action here. And man, that tank destroyer in the north has to be dealt with soon. I'm surprised the bomber hasn't been sent up there. Maybe he's worried the fighters can deal with that bomber really quickly once it goes out of the safety of his base.
Oh, they definitely can do some damage without basically getting hit back. So I'd be worried about it.
Yikes.
But
look at
pressure from all lanes.
Yeah, look at the army he's massing in the center. 2 AA and a couple of tank destroyers. A strafing run coming in, but it's not going to really do a ton of damage. If just 1 or 2 bomb hits, he really needs a whole strafe run to land onto those tank destroyers to be effective.
Now, he moved those anti-air to circle the tank destroyer for protection, but that's a little bit dangerous, especially with a bomber, as that can take out a whole swath of units, even if it's a kamikaze run. And remember, this game is pretty much about efficiency of units, making sure your enemy doesn't have the resources to fight back.
So here comes the plane micro from Brad. 2 bombers out. He's trying to get rid of a lot of the ground force that is here. This anti-air really peppering the bombing units of Brad. He does get 1, and the tank destroyer is still alive. A 3-man tank squad on the bottom is applying pressure, and Brad's towers are getting knocked down left and right with only 7 minutes into round this first map.
I mean, right now, if I had to predict a winner, it would be Sporks. This is just an insane amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just distracting the micro from the critical areas, and he's doing that very effectively.
Those tank destroyers are so good. Thick on the HP, they have tons of range, they do great damage. Utilized effectively, yeah, I mean, they can do some work.
Well, we've seen them just tank bombing runs. I mean, it's not the ideal way to do things, of course, but they are very thick in the HP, as you said. And here goes another tower. If that's, yep, there it is. 1 tower left for SadlyItsBradley, and
barely alive at that.
Yeah.
Man, this tank destroyer now taking out the artillery trucks as well. Or sorry, not the artillery trucks, the bazooka trucks.
I mean, they might as well be artillery trucks at that point, but
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But he needed those to take down this tank. Push?
Yeah, he's looking very weak right now. He's going to have to rely on those bombers to keep him in this game and prevent these troops and the inevitable push from coming in right into his base. 2 tank destroyers, one from the south, one in the center, a couple of tanks, and some AA to reinforce. He's got full control of the center with a nice fighter swarm, so Brad can't poke out very far. And I think he's going to start positioning tank destroyers to be firing onto the base now. Yep, there's one.
There goes an arty in defense. And yep, here comes the tank destroyer barrage on the base. You are not wrong. He's even got anti-air up there with him. So, ooh.
Yeah, an artillery
Here comes
strike.
Only took 1 anti-air though.
Yeah, he didn't lead or predict the movements coming in. Now that he's inside the base, though, these bombers are slamming away. It's not enough. The push from NotSporks. Map number 1 done in sub 10 minutes.
And that's the dangers of 7s. You just get overwhelmed by units you can't really deal with. And if they were experiencing the lag we were, bombing runs become subpar effectively, you know?
I don't think they were. It looked like those bombers were getting most of their bombing run off when they go for a strafe. It just doesn't look like they were doing enough damage to those tank destroyers.
No. There goes Galland. I mean,
yeah,
he can't pick them anymore, so a nice strong division is now out of the running for Sporks. Definitely a different match than we saw earlier with Simmons.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't get that early advantage he needed to be able to build up an army strong enough to push back against those tank destroyers. He didn't have enough damage just going out, and now we see Sporks going into a Beaumont pick to try and secure this series. Definitely a smart choice, as we have mentioned in the past. A top-tier unit. Brad maybe opting in for a Von Ritter.
Von Ritter picked first Beaumont. I mean, he doesn't know that, obviously, so you can't judge it like that, but still, that's a bit of a dicey pick on a loss. Oh, okay. Switching over to Nichols. I'd almost argue that's even more dicey.
He is very experienced with the Nichols. And I think, just waiting on you to ready up, we'll dive into map number 2.
Sorry about that.
All good. Don't want to keep the players waiting around with those headsets on any longer and have a little unready situation like we may have had at the start of map number 1. Hopefully Brad and Sporks prepared for this second one. And yeah, we'll see if Brad with on Nichols can do more damage. Hopefully we don't have any strafing lag for him and he can get those full strafe runs out.
Oh, yeah.
And be effective.
2, 1.
We are going to be hopping in. On your left in red is NotSporks. On your right, sadly, it's Bradley in blue. And we are on Hill 512.
I will say I think Nichols does have a bit of an advantage on this map. Being in the air, not having to worry about the hill or the buildings. The P-38s can definitely do a lot of work. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay. I mean, as we saw in the last map.
Yeah. We'll see if Brad focuses on those anti-air early. Or if he just kind of, it seems like he's setting up for a pretty standard start. He's going to try and grab positions of the airdrops early.
Yeah, you definitely need to take out that anti-air early if you're going to be focusing on the air.
Mm-hmm.
As Nichols does.
Either that or he's just going to send in bombers kind of on sacrificial runs or P-38s, excuse me, on sacrificial runs to just kind of scoop up those front ones. I think he may even be able to strafe and do damage to them without really getting hit by their AA. So we'll see what sort of micro Brad breaks out when the time comes.
Clearly, Bradley's not worried about lag if he's picking an air unit division, so I want to say it's mostly our side, which is good. No one's revealed their units yet, or their division yet.
Yeah, that's true.
But that is quite an infantry push coming up south. And there it goes, taken down by a strafing run.
I wonder how long Sporks is going to hold on to this Beaumont pick.
I feel like even though Beaumont's pretty dominant, some of the better players are developing strategies to deal with him.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the lower tier divisions.
Yeah.
So we just saw Beaumont get worked.
Certainly had a tough time against the hard push, the consistent and steady push.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that here from Brad. It does seem like both teams kind of just pacing themselves, getting set up with their tier 3s.
An effective defense from SadlyItsBradley. Keeping the infantry away from those towers, which is very important in the early game. You don't want to be losing towers to infantry pushes.
No. But the presence is definitely there. Now Brad should see the Calliope coming out from Sporks. Be aware of the Beaumont pick.
Yeah, he's done nothing to reveal that he's playing Nichols, so...
Yeah. Kept that P-38 pretty hidden.
Still no push against those front anti-air, but the Calliope's there to prevent it, so...
I've seen Brad opt in for a very heavy tank-focused play, and this is his strategy to take out the AA. I think he's going to artillery them down instead, and look at that.
Really? One barrage will do it?
That's what he was waiting for.
I did not know that.
Wanted to tier up to tier 3, take out the AA. That's going to be an indicator to Sporks that these air units are going to come out. You instantly see a fighter swarm starting to amass over his base.
Yeah.
Very good response from NotSporks.
What do we have over here? Troop transport plane coming out. Honestly, I've heard mixed reviews about them, but
me too.
I've seen them a lot in competitive play, so...
It certainly adds to your lane presence, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a lot of troops. It's just some people have described it as you get troops technically slower over time. But...
Interesting.
But he seems to be opting for the plane over actual troop trucks. Yeah, that fighter swarm over NotSporks' base is nothing to snuff at. That's at least 5 planes.
I think obviously he's aware now that Bradley is going to be the Nichols division. He sees the P-38s, he sees the troop transports, so...
Yeah, and you see the proactive anti-air on the ground.
Yeah, it is. He is really thickening up the skies, because he's gonna have to have that if he wants to even have a chance of having his Calliopes survive and push the base of Brad.
Yeah. Yep, anti-air taking some zones of fire. Calliope for defense. That's a good solid D on Sporks' part. And he's starting to take out some of the tanks, SadlyItsBradley put out there.
Ooh. P-38 sacrificed for Calliope artillery barrage coming in. He's going to try and hit the planes out of the sky. Does grab one.
Did he capture anything else on the ground? Oh, I think he was going for that anti-air and Calliope too, but he couldn't get it all. A lot of points on that artillery barrage that didn't really get much.
It is a strat that Brad's fond of. He likes to use those artillery strikes to harass in ways that may not seem normal to the enemy, and so they're not really ready when they lose units to his artillery strikes. Here comes another one. And actually, this is going to be on the artillery of his base, or the anti-air of his base.
No, it's going for towers.
Yeah.
A lot of damage to the southern tower, but that top one didn't take much. But he does have a ball of infantry there.
Yeah. You just got to wonder if that 30 gold is worth what it's given him right now, as he is losing control of the map. Calliopes and tanks all over the place in the middle.
He could, I mean, focus down on the base, send the whole group in. I think he could take it. Oh, and here's a P-38 starting to pick things off. No anti-air to stop it. Definitely some effective tower damage from that push, but
yeah.
They got the anti-air. Huh.
Not going to be as important for NotSporks, but if he does want to be able to fight back with the P-38s, it does open up the front of the base of Brad's base to have a fighter swarm around it. So
it looks like that's exactly what he did. He sent in 4 fighters to hit that P-38, and it definitely did some nice damage there. I don't even see it anymore. Did it go down?
I think it did, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Towers are going down. At least one of them. What should we do about it?
There goes the tower. And the fighter swarm's just sitting up there.
It's very hard for Brad to harass with the P-38 like he wants to.
Yeah, and it's kind of the cornerstone of his division's attack. He's definitely got... Oh no, there's a tank push coming up along the north. I was going to say, he's got enough infantry coming down on one side that might get into Sporks' base, but not anymore. Tank and arty counter. He still hasn't used that one tank that's just sitting there.
Yeah, a little battle over the south here.
Here comes the Calliope for another run. Directed right at the base. Oh, wait, never mind. Let's see where it goes.
Oh, interesting. Targeting the artillery defense. It's going to open up the lane a little bit for these tanks and his troops to support. Fighters are circling overhead. The anti-air doing a little bit of work. Grabs both of them.
Here comes a P-38 strafe. Not enough. Oh, there goes the Calliope. Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
I was getting worried there, Bradley.
I know. Artillery reinforcement helping him out, but this is a push for Sporks right here.
They may be basic tanks, but with only one tower up and nothing in for defense against them, besides that one arty, that could do it. Four tanks will make it in, but 3 go down.
Huge artillery strike. Huge artillery unit right here, grabbing all of these, all this tank push.
Yeah, and they're cheap. But there it goes. Arty's down.
AA is inside his base.
He's really going for those troop transport planes if he can, but I mean, I don't know what he's really afraid of to get pushed all the way in, take him down. Oh, planes are going after them now.
Calliope's going to come in here and start hitting the base. This could be map number 2 going into the hands of Sporks right here.
Is that an artillery barrage from Bradley? No, no, it's not. This is a full-on push from Sporks onto Bradley's base. Rough.
Yeah, AA here, hammering down the P-38s as they try and strafe the Calliope that is still alive. Launching artillery salvos into the base of Brad, and one more, and he is done.
It's done.
Sporks
It's done.
grabbing the series in a very dominant fashion. We'll play out the third map onto Wallenberg, but man, Sporks here.
That was only about less than 12 minutes.
Yeah.
That was a very, very quick round, especially on this big map.
Man, Sports is looking very good here, proving his rank as a master tier for sure.
He's definitely someone to fear if you get matched up on him in a private match. You're gonna get tossed around quite a bit. Oh, there we go, Wallenberg.
So for Sporks, that means that Beaumont and Von Ritter off the table.
Let's see what he picks. Looks like Wolf, maybe?
That's Brad.
Bradley?
Yeah, Brad going for Wolf.
No picks from Sporks. Wallenberg's always an interesting matchup, especially against two high-tier players. It's always a fight over the island. Maybe the north and south, but really that island sort of clutches it for whoever wins. If you can destroy more units or keep the efficiency going up there, that's usually your key. Okay, got some
I think we're just hashing out some tech issues on Sports side. Might have to rehost the lobby.
Oh, yeah, some tech issues for sure.
That's all right. It's been a super quick series. We've only been live
Yeah.
for half an hour, and we're already basically done with it. Just have this final map to play out.
I mean, you can't really hate that though, as a caster.
No, I don't know. I like those. I like the 30, 45-minute games. I think they're pretty exciting. I like to watch the back and forth, and you kind of get some interesting momentum swings when you get those longer games. A bit tighter, obviously, like that final one with Nauko nearly dying, but then bringing it back to secure map 3. Can be entertaining.
Yeah, that was a close one.
I like watching fast ones too, though, because you do see new strats and interesting strats come out if a fast game goes down like that.
Well, these are definitely maps that sort of facilitate faster games, like Wallenberg.
Yeah,
real quick. Are we rehosting?
I think so.
All right, there we go. I guess if I had to say what went wrong with Bradley's defense there was he didn't effectively control the air, and he needed the air. He let that fighter swarm sort of dictate where his P-38s could go, and it's just it's not how you play that division. Nichols needs the air.
I think it was just a really good response from NotSporks. Need you to join lobby.
Oh. There it is. Well, he was able to use his more expensive planes very effectively. He didn't lose them too often.
I don't know if you saw it, but this final one is going to be Wolf versus Wolf. A mirror matchup, so we'll see if this one gets drawn out or if one can execute this map a bit more effectively than the other. Sadly, it's Bradley with a little dance to get himself prepped on the left side in red and NotSporks in blue on the right.
You need to be warmed up. If you come in a little tired or a a little bored, you're going to get tunnel vision.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of players just play the league because they enjoy playing the game at a competitive level. So either way, Brad's getting in some good final assault matches right here. Does want to try and gab this third map, though, because it will help with his overall worldwide ranking.
Bunch of troop trucks and a tank coming out from SadlyItsBradley to take the center.
Yeah, well, this is it.
Yeah,
those troop trucks are out of the base because he wants them to come down that middle lane. So they're going to, that's where they're going to go. One actually is still going to that top lane, but the majority of the units are going to be reinforcing and coming up right onto the tower of his base.
No counters from Sporks yet, but he could just be saving up. Now it is a mirror match, wolf versus wolf. So, oh, here we are, grenade trucks coming out, or arty trucks. Honestly, one of my more favorite units in the game. But
Especially
compared to the Calipes.
Yeah, well, if you're good at micro, these guys are real effective. You can zip them around the map so fast.
And just launch indirect fire everywhere. I mean, they can hit that center island pretty effectively, too.
Yeah.
And there goes the first box to Bradley.
Sporks is going to get this tower pretty uncontested.
Two arty trucks together. It's a pretty lethal combo.
Yeah, this could end up proving pretty bad for Brad pretty quickly. If those trucks advance up into some spots where they can't be shot at by those turrets, they can kind of just pepper them down.
Yeah, and unfortunately you can't counter them with normal artillery because you're just not going to put enough artillery up in the air. Yep, there it is. And it's gone. And that's why the island's pretty game decisive, because if you can't keep control of it, you're just going to get annihilated and lose units left and right.
Artillery trucks from Brad's doing work, though, almost taking down a base turret.
He's using that center lane investment quite well.
Yeah. Here's the artillery. Oh, look at that base damage onto Brad. The tower damage, excuse me.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's 3 arty trucks, plus a tank. You're not going to counter that with artillery. Even the arty trucks of your own, like, you need overwhelming numbers to actually counter that. What is that tank doing? Okay, I was going to say.
I don't know, though. While that push has been going down, Sporks has lost base turrets.
I think he just realized that. He might be trying to pull stuff back. Like that tank. But, I don't know, it stopped moving, so I guess not. But there goes both of his towers on the north.
Here comes another artillery truck push, too, up that middle lane from Brad.
Yeah, this is a mirror matchup, but those artillery trucks are just so good, even against each other. It's whoever micros better, but they are good. They're not Callipy strong, though. Let's be clear about that. But here we are. Sporks is already in the getting base damage.
Jeez, 3 minutes, 4 minutes into the round, Brad's charging into the base of Sporks as a couple of tank trucks, or artillery trucks, slamming away onto the base. Tanks are reinforcing, troops getting a little fire onto it as well, but Sporks has pulled back his army and is defending.
I mean, that early damage is pretty clutch.
Yeah.
He's now so vulnerable to anything sneaking into his base like that again. And we have an artillery truck hitting a rear anti-air. Oof.
I think he's just going to keep using that middle lane, sending up artillery trucks through it. He's going to have to somehow deal with this defense here, though, because it is a pretty solid D, and I don't know if the artillery truck... Oh, maybe he can just keep suiciding them in like he's doing.
Yeah, just chip away at the whole thing.
That artillery in the back actually might win it if he doesn't get it, if he doesn't kill this artillery.
Oof. Oh, there it goes. But still, that's...
He's one shot away.
And that's really lethal against these artillery trucks, because even if you get fire on them and they're going down, if they just get one off, it's literally one shot.
Ooh, here's the push. 2 artillery trucks coming down this middle lane. They're going to go up against a Tiger tank and another tank. Instantly, one gets demolished. Trying to run past the defense, can't get it through. And uh-oh, this could be trouble for Brad now.
He got a little greedy there, I will agree with that. I'd almost, yep, there goes his infantry in the center lane.
Oh my goodness! Strafing runs from fighters.
I mean, he has to.
That's what he's doing on the base.
Oh, he's doing strafing runs on the base. With
Wow!
Commander, we have lost.
Man, that was
a good one.
that was going into the hands of Sporks real quick. But Brad with some strafing runs onto the base from fighters. I've never seen that before. Gets him the win.
I mean, he had so little health that, yeah, that was like, what, 4 strafing runs?
Yeah.
That was a smart play there. Like,
Super
I wouldn't
smart.
have thought
Nope.
to do that.
I was thinking maybe he could send an artillery barrage there to round it off, but really cost-effective investment to just go with fighters and finish off that base.
He didn't even get to tier 3 there. Go Bradley.
Yeah. I mean, that was a 5-minute round. I don't think I've ever seen a league match end that quickly.
And it wasn't even like one dominating the other,
No,
and
it
he
was
just pushed and destroyed the
back
base.
and forth.
Back and forth 5-minute match.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a fun early game battle. Good stuff to spectate in a quick series at that. 40 minutes, and we're done with 3 maps.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved every moment of that.
Yeah, absolutely. A fun series to spectate. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this afternoon for both series, if you have been around for both of them. I think that'll be it from me and NotSporks. Sorry, me and NotSporks. Let's just look at
SnooperFax.
Jeez. Me and SnooperFax. If you do want to get involved in the league, head on over to vrmasterleague.com/final assault. You can register to play in the league. There's a $2,000 prize pool to first, second, and third, so there's a little cash money to be won if you can defeat some of these top-tier players. And frankly, I think the floor is open for all kinds of new plays and innovative strategies to surprise these guys. So,
Oh, yeah. It's definitely one of the best RTSs in the VR.
oh yeah, yeah. You can see the competitive. There's a lot. It fits so well in the esports scene too. I'm really looking forward to that PSVR update. We talked about it a little bit, but it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. Ton of new players. Ton
yeah.
of new things coming in. I'm excited.
Me too. Me too. I'll get back into playing it for sure, but I think we will be signing off here. Thank you so much for dropping by. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. My co-caster, SnooperFax, and we will see you next week with more Final Assault or VRML action.
Later, guys.